EnvisionTEC has gone bankrupt, and that's big news for us. SprintRay, the company, has actually acquired them.
They just left thousands of people stranded. No more tanks, no more resins, no more support. You are on your own. We thought that we could come in here and save the customers, really continue this innovation, continue the brand, and we took action on it.
The clinicians in the labs have totally different needs, I would say, what they want from their software.
Yeah, our mindset is we keep it as a lab-focused brand. Dental lab is about efficiency, how much time we can save them, how much of the work we can automate, how much we can add to their top line, and we're going to go all in the lab space.
I have to ask a cheeky question. How much did you pay for this company? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Digital Dentistry Decoded podcast by IDD. Dr. Ahmad Al-Hassiny here with you, and there's been some really interesting news that's happened recently. I don't know if you guys have heard, especially in 3D printing, EnvisionTEC has gone bankrupt, and that's kind of big news for us. I mean, such a prominent company, and any of you who follow 3D printing will know they were doing some amazing things with Flexera and all that sort of stuff. And I'm super honored and proud in a way to announce huge news because SprintRay, the company, has actually acquired them. And we're very lucky to have CEO and co-founder of SprintRay, Amir Mansouri, here. So thank you so much for joining me, Amir.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Glad to be here.
So I guess let's just jump into it. You acquired EnvisionTEC. A huge congratulations. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think a little bit of maybe technicality. It's an asset purchase. Maybe I explain to you what it is. But overall, it's, I think anytime something like this happens in an industry, it's just bad for the entire industry as a whole. It really hurt every company in that sector. We see that a lot of people become hesitant. This social media post that I'm very hesitant to buy a printer. I need to ask for companies' balance sheets before making any purchase. I think anytime such an event happen in an industry, it's really shake up the entire industry for everyone. And when we looked at EnvisionTEC, Desktop Health as a part of the Desktop Metal portfolio, they just left thousands of people stranded. It's like, it was very heartbreaking to see just these customers just had nothing to do, especially the way things were communicated to them. No more tanks, no more resins, no more support. You are on your own. A lot of things happened that we thought that if something to be done, we want to be the one to be coming here and saving the customers at this point. In the end, thousands of people were stranded. That's on one hand. On the other hand, again, as you said it, EnvisionTEC been pretty much inventors of DLP 3D printing. And in the past 20 years, they've been innovated and they've been really ahead of their own time in so many different products they had. I mean, we had a lot of rivalry with them. They were a formidable opponent all the time. But it was sad to see that happen. And to us, again, being in the industry, knowing what these guys have done with their products, with their Flexera line, it was something that we thought that we could do something to, one, to save the customers, two, to be able to essentially get these innovations and continue these in the lab segment. When you look at EnvisionTEC brand, is a very lab-oriented brand. They really, at some point, they own the lab market. And for us, as a company who's been very focused on the clinicians, this was another sign to come in the lab sector to really support the customers, take care of the customers who are left behind, as well as innovate for them. So we had the idea. I mean, reached out. The other side, again, agreed to our terms, the way we did it, and it really worked out very quick. And we're very happy to announce that this thing happened, and the customers of Desktop Health and EnvisionTEC, are taken care of. We're gonna make them whole. We're gonna make sure that they will continue to be able to continue to use their products, to print with those printers, to be able to get the most out of the investments they made a couple of years ago.
That's fascinating. I mean, look, a huge congrats again. I mean, especially with a closed printer. I know we don't like that term so much, but you're 100% right. Look, I was on the receiving end of that. I mean, a little bit about my background. I have an EnvisionTEC printer. I got caught up in the hype thanks to your American colleagues. There was a few that made a lot of noise about EnvisionTEC printers and how amazing they are and the next best thing. And we bought one. I mean, Flexera was nice. I think Apex is better, but anyway. But you know, I do agree with you. They were really ahead of their time, and they're like founder Al Sablani. I have tremendous respect for the guy, but you know, after their acquisition by Desktop Metal or Desktop Health, excuse my French, I really don't get how they effed it up so bad. I mean, to drive such a good company down to the ground like that. Because you're right, the printers were good, the resins were good, but even people like me in New Zealand, I had an EnvisionTEC printer, and they eventually just stopped supporting the printer. They're like, you can't buy resins, and it's a locked printer. I can't just use anything with it. And so I just have this huge paperweight now in my storage. So, you know, I think you saving this company in a way is kind of interesting, because a lot of customers who had these printers would be on the same receiving end, and I'm sure they're really worried.
Yeah. I mean, you were not alone. For us, it would have been easy to start essentially aggressive upgrades, trade-ins to go essentially convert customers. But when you talk to their users, they really love that brand. They really are getting the most out of it. And we thought that we could come in here and save the customers, really continue this innovations, continue the brand, and we took action on it.
That's huge, man. Look, what's really interesting to me is this. I talk about digital dentistry and how it's so busy and there's so many players, and consolidation is going to happen, whether it's printers or scanners, especially. Like, we don't need 35 different scanners. And it's kind of fascinating to this consolidation in a way is kind of happening. And again, like, kudos to you, man. I don't know how you did it. Like, SprintRay is a rocket that you got to do this. But talk to us about the acquisition a little bit. I mean, look, I'm a dentist, so I'm not a huge business acquisition guy. What does it really mean for the end user and the customers? I mean, you've hinted on it. You're going to continue supporting them, but what's it mean also for your portfolio, SprintRay?
It's an asset purchase. That means we got essentially purchased the exclusive rights to their products, to their patents, to their IP, to their trademarks, customers list. And this is how essentially the transaction was structured, not to their liabilities, because they owed a lot of money to a lot of people. Essentially, this was, they went through the bankruptcy. And what it means for us is really four things. What it means for customers is really four things. Number one is they will be able to continue print on the EnvisionTEC platform. We will supply them with the resins. We will supply them with the tanks. They continue to get their software essentially there to download and continue doing it. That one is not going to stop. Two, I think it's a little bit of what you said, the close, the open. We will bring the Flexella resins as well as the SprintRay resins cross-platform to each other. That's another thing that we plan. SprintRay resins, Apex Onyx will be available to EnvisionTEC users on the EnvisionTEC platform. This is something that we wanted to give access to them, and vice versa. Flexera line of resins, the guides and guards and casts and a lot of great resins that EnvisionTEC has will be available on the SprintRay platform. Timeline, again, TBD. There's a lot of work ahead of us, but this is in our near-term plan in the next, I would say, 60 to 90 days to be done. And maybe another note about open resin close, or it's really, we believe in openness, but very controlled, not just open it up for 99 manufacturers out there. You just saw that announcement of Ivoclar resins. We validated them on SprintRay. And same thing. This is, again, we're bringing Flexera, EnvisionTEC guides and guards, and a lot of model resin. Their model resin was one of the best always to the SprintRay users, and vice versa. The third one is our commitment to dental labs. This is our entry to the dental lab space, and we will continue working with dental labs to innovate on EnvisionTEC platforms and continue essentially bringing better innovations, faster, better, next generation of Flexera, and bring these innovations, continue what EnvisionTEC started 20 years ago. That's our goal.
Fascinating, man. And also, what's interesting to me, what's coming to my mind is that now all the lab and EnvisionTEC users get access to Onyx stuff, which could be massive. It's amazing for the EnvisionTEC printer line to get access to your amazing full art resins.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is again with the same philosophy of controlled openness, where you really bring things that are tested, truly tested, validated to the platform. We're excited too, and I'm sure the users of EnvisionTEC and SprintRay, both of them will be excited about this news.
So
It's interesting. The customers of EnvisionTEC, they love those products. Even you see the social media posts, a lot of people say that the printer works. I want to buy resin. I don't want to switch it. I don't want to. It works. I just need to be able to buy tanks and resin. I think that was the key for us to continue, and we will do that.
it's amazing, man. I think you saved probably thousands of users around the US. The other interesting thing that you mentioned is this is your kind of official step into dental labs. And obviously, SprintRay is the master of chairside printing, I think, by quite a margin. And this is a really interesting pivot for you and the company to start really focusing on the lab side.
Yeah, I mean, we started in the chairside space because I think almost 10 years ago at this point, 8 years ago, no one was focusing on it. No one was making final functional resins to be used in the mouth for long term. And really, we found that niche and stuck with it and really developed everything we had for the chair side, for clinicians, for dental staff to be able to use it, to delegate, to really click the button, don't think about it. And the same philosophy of controlled resin environment, certified open platform that we have, it's one of those things. People don't go and tinker on the heat profile or support profile. But again, on the other side, EnvisionTEC customers, they just love to play with the settings and support parameters and a lot of different settings and setups that, again, it's a very engineering. It's been EnvisionTEC has always been an engineering company, and it was very what I would say is like a precision German made. These are all the values that they had, and this is great because lab environments needs those. They want those. They love those level of control. Yeah. So for us, it's going to become a very kind of clean entry without really jeopardizing some of the control that we have on the other side to make dental assistants clinicians successful. And now we're able to differently offer different innovations to be able to capture that segment of the market.
And it's so true because the clinicians, as you know better probably than anyone, the clinicians in the labs have totally different needs, I would say, what they want from their software.
They on the dentist side, they don't want to make decisions. They don't want to figure it out. They don't want control. They just want to know that's their denture resin and it works every time. They don't need 5 different solutions. That's a reality. And the more you confuse them with options and buttons and decisions, and do you want thin support or what's the height of this and that, it just confuses them. And we had this dilemma of how do we get into the dental lab segment without really losing our core DNA and value. This thing really worked out that we're able to go and work with labs. And you know us, Ahmed, when we get in, we go all in. And that means a lot of different differentiated products, platforms, cloud services, efficiency improvement. Dental lab is about efficiency, how much time we can save them, how much of the work we can automate, how much of their staff time we can save, how much we can add to their top line, how much we can add to their EBITDA. And these are the things that we know the best, and we're going to go all in the lab space with that.
I have to ask, are you excited or nervous? What's the feeling now? You just made a massive call, and it's a super interesting pivot. How's your feelings as kind of?
It's mixed. Definitely, it's not a small transaction. It's from a financial responsibility aspect of it is nerve breaking, as well as it's going to be a lot of work to deliver on top of the work that we had, and we need to just go solid, do all the work ahead of us. Everything that I'm saying here, we got to deliver. Then from that standpoint, I'm nervous, but I'm also excited because I believe SprintRay is the only dental 3D printing focus on clinicians, focus on the labs now. and we're able to innovate. We're able to manage two portfolio of products to be able to innovate in both to address the needs of both. And from that standpoint, I'm excited. And I think finally, and more importantly, it's going to be very rewarding to, I think by this time, the news is out. The customers who were nervous, even as, early as a few days ago, I'm just following comments in social media. People were nervous, what to do with their equipments. There was another comment that they're still paying installments on the printers they bought 2 years ago. And I think that is very rewarding to give that peace of mind to customers that continue using your products. We support it. We give you the resins, we give the tanks, and you can continue using it without any worry. I think when you put all these three, it's a mix of nervous because of a lot of work and also excitement because of the opportunities.
You saved a lot of people in a way, man, especially with the investments. I have to ask a cheeky question. How much did you pay?
Tell me. Ask me.
You mentioned you paid a large sum. You're allowed to disclose how much did you pay for this company?
I mean, it's confidential, but last time this company was sold for $300 million. I mean, it's an amazing portfolio of technology and patents and resins and brands and 20 years of brand equity. It wasn't cheap for sure. But that's how much I can share with you.
I genuinely have respect for you. I mean, like the guts you had and the things you do is kind of mind blowing to me. Like, as dentists, we talk about millions of dollars in our practices, and you're sitting here talking about multiples, but it's amazing. The other thing I wanted to ask is, you mentioned this about the brand and what they've done to the brand. And again, I have utmost respect for Al Sablani and what he did with the company. It just seemed to go south after the acquisition, but what are you going to do with the brand? Do you want to absorb it into SprintRay and just make SprintRay Lab, or we keep it in EnvisionTEC? Because in my point of view, look, you're going to have to shake off a lot of kind of negative emotions in the industry. I mean, I sure as hell never thought I would buy an EnvisionTEC product once they did this to me. And yeah, I'm curious. Are you just going to absorb it? Are you going to keep it and keep those separate? One is kind of SprintRay, one is EnvisionTEC, Clinic and Lab, or what's going to happen?
I mean, you're right. I mean, there is a little bit of a brand that is tarnished, and we got to work on it. And what we believe with the level of support, level of innovations, level of SprintRay focus we put behind it, we're able to do it. Whether we keep it as EnvisionTEC or not, I think it's early to say. But at this point that I'm talking with you, our mindset is we keep it as a lab-focused brand. We really got to go and open up the patient and see what's underneath the hood and what's in there to see how bad the damage is. But we intend to keep it. Again, when you talk to the customers, they like the products they're using, the brand they're using. This is what I'm talking to you. I think 3 months from now, we can do another podcast, tell you what they've done. So for the time being, we don't plan to turn it into SprintRay Lab. I think we want to continue that brand, that legacy.
I have to say, man, I like SprintRay Lab, though. I mean, look, this is just advice you don't need to thought about it. But, the SprintRay brand, in my view, and I'm sure you know this because you see, but it's such a strong brand. Like, I really don't see too many people talking anything bad about SprintRay, especially from the clinic side. It's seen like a premium brand. I mean, the only people that talk bad about it is probably the milling companies, but that's a sense. And maybe some resin companies, but it's a difficult one, man. You rebrand that whole kind of goodwill or some form of will over the past 20 years that they've built, or tricky one.
Yeah, I mean, SprintRay really is not overnight success. It's been 10 years of compounding of many different things we did right and many good decisions we made. And I think it really manifests itself in the Pro 2. You haven't received the Pro 2 yet. You haven't tested Pro 2. I think hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're killing me.
Yeah. The reality is, I was talking to clinicians, and I was being told that Pro 2 is like a Porsche 911. It's 9 out of 10 in every aspect. It's not a 10 out of 10. You find a printer that is faster than this. You find a printer that is smaller, but 5 other area, they're 3 out of 10. You find a printer that is fastest, but they don't have an ecosystem. They don't have the cloud. They don't have the AI. They don't have the material. You have something with a better material. They don't have the hardware. It's not optimized. They do things 5 minutes faster, but the accuracy is not there. Reliability is not there. I think with SprintRay brand, we're in that sweet spot of 9 out of 10 on pretty much everything. And same as Midas. It's really the compound of a lot of things we've done right in the past 10 years. It was not overnight, as I mentioned. But we bring the same spirit to this new product and new brand. We're excited about what we can do with it. So wish us luck. We need a lot of luck. Also a lot of hard work. A lot of smart people got to come together to see how they can spin it. But it's a great foundation of technology. Again, over 200 patents, really advanced stuff that were ahead of their times. They had technologies, again, I don't want to go nerd on you, but they had technologies in 2006, 7, 8 that really no one had it decade later. Pretty much everyone in the industry is infringing a lot of those patents. So or using those technologies. It's a matter of what we do with it. So it's a great technology foundation. What we do with it in terms of brand and product, I think, to be seen.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. Al invented DLP or something like that, or?
From my understanding, there was Al and there's a gentleman called John Henrik or Henrik John. They somehow came together in 2001, and they were so ahead of their time.
Crazy.
Just doing a lot of, DLP is one thing, but the algorithms they had, the grayscaling, there's a lot of things they guys were doing in 2006 and 7 that were really ahead of anyone else, ahead of their time. So that's the portfolio of the technology that got us excited that we're able to use and bring it to our ecosystem.
So what's your kind of like, it's early days. I know I'm heading you with a million questions, you poor guy, and you've just probably acquired it recently. But what's your kind of overall vision, apart from bringing Flexera to SprintRay and that mixing of resins? What are you going to do with this company? What's your dream or like vision for this?
I mean, Flexera, as you said, is a great technology platform. It's a great resin. It's probably, I would say, if there are two full arch resins, it's Flexera and Onyx, and we really had head to head with that. Just ask from the clinicians who are using it. We continue pushing that line, innovating that line, what we can do with it, probably bring it to the rest of the world. A lot of regions, they don't have it, enable it in your neck of the woods. And how do we continue enabling that? I don't think their denture base has grown that much, but our goal is to continue that resin innovation as well as hardware innovation. I mean, Einstein was a great printer that when they came out, and we're excited to see what we can do with it. If there's any Einstein 2, again, we're speculating here, but that's going to be sprintified Einstein 2. It's going to be exciting for the industry.
And do you plan on like on the software side, because you built this incredible SprintRay?
What are your thoughts? Tell me what you think it should be done.
I mean, first thing I think is definitely repairing the brand would be kind of top priority. I think, look, I definitely think they were great printers. I didn't really see too much exposure around the world. I think it was quite American heavy. A lot of American KOLs pushed it hard. And I do see, an amazing kind of opportunity globally for these printers and these resins that you had. But at the same time, what's fascinating to me is that you mentioned chairside. You guys dominate chairside because no one was really focused on it, and you're 100% right. We had lab printers that were made a bit smaller, and that was a chairside printer. But the lab game, to me, I'm genuinely interested to see how this pans out, because you know better than me, the lab game is a harder game where you have some real established leaders like a Sega on my side of the woods, made in Australia. And it's going to be really interesting to see you kind of carve out your own niche now with the people that work for you, and trying to make Einstein and EnvisionTEC carve back more of that market.
Yeah. Again, we were never focused on the lab space to tell you what they need to be doing. It's a game of efficiency. Again, there are different segments of the labs, and there's a one-person lab running it to these enterprise labs. It's completely different type of customer base. But overall, when I look at the solutions out there, maybe Carbon has done a great job to focus on those efficiencies. That's what I see, a good job that is done. We will focus in streamlining efficiencies, streamlining processes, automation. And we have a lot of great technology that could not be really placed in a chairside environment. But now a lab platform is great for it. Again, I'm not going to get too much into the details of that, but this is kind of a segue for us to be able to do those. Because for us, is if it's too big, if it's too complicated, if it's support heavy, we can't do it for SprintRay. It's not a chairside environment. If it makes noise, it's not a chairside product. But when you go to a lab space, you don't have these limitations. So we've done a lot of work from that front, and now we're excited to take it to the lab space using this brand. It's so hard to say what, but I would say the software for sure. Cloud, I think we need to bring that cloud connectivity. That our design services is going to be great for labs as a supplement, complementary to what they offer. I know they want different pricing. We probably will figure that out for them. But we will bring that. Typically, labs don't like cloud solutions. We got to see how that pan out. They need efficiency. Got to be fast. If it's upload, download, might kill the efficiency. I think we have a lot of work to do. What I tell you is a lot of work ahead of us. But I'm excited. We're committed. This is our sign. Dental Labs. We're committed. We're going to come heavy. We're going to innovate with you. We're going to spend time. One of my personal passions, again, I'm a mechanical engineer by training. I like building stuff, and dental labs is fun. Every time I go to local ones, I have a lot of fun. And my personal, this is a personal bucket list, is to become a CDT. Maybe this is my chance to actually roll, to do that, to go do the course and do the hours to become a CDT. But that's our commitment. We're coming, we're spending time with them, we're streamlining. They need resins, they need different aesthetics, different things. We're going to be delivering those.
So, we can say officially SprintRay has entered the dental lab market for sure.
I think that could be the headline.
Well, look, Amir, look, I really appreciate your time. I guess, I don't want to take too much of your time today, but is there anything else you wanted to share with the audience about this kind of acquisition? Because once again, guys, this is massive news. SprintRay, in case you've just been fast forwarding or something, has acquired EnvisionTEC. And this could be massive for dental labs in the coming years. So I'll leave it in your last few words, Amir.
Absolutely. I think just the message to the EnvisionTEC desktop health customers, we got your back. Continue printing. That's the first priority for us, is to make sure there is continuity. They continue to receive resins. They continue print to get their tanks done. Anything else, what we do, let's leave it to 2026. The first order of business is make sure there is continuity and these customers can happily print and continue service their businesses. That's all.
And I'm sure your SprintRay customers, they're still going to get the same amount of love, right?
100%. And now we're bringing Flexera lines.
Bridgeton, right? He's still working on product, right?
Absolutely. No, we're going to add resources for sure. And a lot of great people at EnvisionTEC, at Desktop Health, we're retaining. That's another thing that, as a kind of ugly side of this, is thousands of jobs were lost. But again, if we can save some of those, we will, and we're working with them to see who we will retain to be able to create continuity on that product line. Overall, again, the good news for SprintRay customers, you're going to get access to Flexera, to model resins, to all the good stuff that EnvisionTEC has pretty soon.
Amazing. Look, once again, thank you so much, Amir, for your time. As always, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, and someone who's really spearheading 3D printing. This is probably one of the biggest pieces of news in dental 3D printing, guys. Big moves are happening in our industry, and we will just have to watch and wait as the customers to see how this all pans out. So once again, Amir, thank you so much for your time. And for those of you who are listening, This has been the Digital Dentistry Decoded podcast. Like, comment, and share. Share it with your colleagues. It helps us out a lot. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.